Hello everyone, welcome back. Sorry I was not able to make a video yesterday on that severe weather event. I was not in town, but today we do have an enhanced risk of severe weather with a 10% significant tornado risk, a 30% significant wind risk, and a 30% significant hail risk. As of now, this is what is going on currently. We do have a few severe thunderstorm warnings, and there was a tornado warning a minute ago, but that has expired. And there's also a tornado watch currently in effect, and that is a 50% risk for the probability of 2 or more tornadoes. And then there's a 20% risk for the probability of 1 or more strong tornadoes, which is an EF2 or higher. There's also a moderate risk, which is a 4 out of 5 for day 2, and this does include a 15% significant tornado risk and the 10% significant tornado risk as well. There's also a non-significant 10% risk as well. This does include a 45% significant wind risk and a 15% hail risk. There's also a risk for day 3, which is a slight risk, which is a 2 out of 5. And as of now, this is only a 15% risk of severe weather, but we will watch for an upgrade, possibly to an enhanced risk. There is also a flooding risk today and tomorrow, and this is a moderate risk of flash flooding, so that is a 3 out of 4, and that is a at least a 40% risk for flash flooding. And then for day 2, there's also a moderate risk of flash flooding, and that is at least a 40% risk of flash flooding. In portions of Alabama, Georgia, and Mississippi. So we're going to be going over today's models and tomorrow as well. And going to start off with the NAM 3K. Yes, the NAM 3 kilometer, get it going here. This is around noon, and we do have that cluster of storms in portions of Texas, and then some more of those storms in portions of Oklahoma, Arkansas, Texas, and Louisiana that I do believe will congeal into a line of storms with embedded strong tornadoes. Keep this moving. We do have a cluster of possibly severe storms in Oklahoma and portions of Arkansas as well. And then we do have that other area of storms in Alabama that does start to move into Florida and Georgia. I'm going to switch over here now to the eastern area of the U.S. and then get this going. There's that line of storms in Louisiana, Mississippi, and then there it is in Alabama, starting to move into the Panhandle, Florida, and Georgia, and we will get a closer look at that in a minute. Okay, so here's this closer look. We do have that cluster of thunderstorms and a line of storms as well, possibly through portions of Georgia, South Carolina, and portions of Florida. And these are the dew points, and this is today's dew points, and we will go over tomorrow's as well. Dew points in Texas to the mid to upper 60s and lower 70s, and then into portions of Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama will also get upper 60s, mid 60s, and lower 70s. And then once we get to Georgia, upper 60s and mid 60s dew points as well. And that surge of cold air behind. Sorry about that brief pause, and now we are at the HRRR model, and this is the significant tornado parameter for today. and we do have some portions of Texas that could get possibly all the way up to 5, maybe even 6 in certain areas. Keep this moving. It does look to die down, but we do have some of those storms that start to form, so they are eating that energy, and so that is why that is showing it lower, but there's still a high risk for possibly some strong tornadoes. And then that does start to initiate again in the overnight hours, and then this will start to move into Louisiana and Mississippi as well. We do have this area though that does like eastern Texas and western and middle Louisiana as well, but we will have that reinitiation of energy in portions of Louisiana and Mississippi for our day 2, which is that moderate risk of severe weather. I will compare this to the NAM 3 kilometer. So this is the NAM 3 kilometer, and it does have that energy in portions of Texas. It does have it more widespread, but not as high, but still very high for what is usually there on just a normal day. Keep this moving. We will have that in Louisiana, Texas, and portions of Mississippi. And then once we get into tomorrow, that does try to fire back up again. And I will just grab a forecast sounding out of Louisiana. And this sounding is showing a tornado. So that some of the things with that is a high CAPE and a high SRH, which is storm relative helicity. So that is basically just rotation, and so there's going to be very strong updrafts that can support tornadoes tomorrow. And now I will switch to the European model, and this is the mid-level jet. And as we can see, we'll start it off here. Do have that area of 40 to 50, possibly even 60 knots in portions of Louisiana, and we will keep this going. Then we do have that reinitiation. Oops, sorry, I went too far. That reinitiation of some winds of possibly 80 to 90 knots in the mid-level jet, and keep that moving. 60, 70, possibly even 80 in certain areas of Mississippi. And now we will switch to the southeast and keep this going. Some of that, you can see some of that where that line will probably be 60, 70, possibly even 80 knots in certain areas, so that will help with damaging winds a lot. And then keep moving it into Alabama, portions of Florida, and Georgia. We do have an area of 70, possibly even 80 knots in certain areas, which will also support for some strong winds. Then keep this moving, 60, 70 knots still in areas of Georgia and the Florida Panhandle. So this is tomorrow's risk. I'm just going to go over it one more time. It is a moderate risk, 4 out of 5. And this does include a 15% significant tornado risk, a 45% significant wind risk, and a 15% hail risk. Alright, that is all I have for you today. Hopefully the mic quality was better. I did get a new one, and we are still trying to fix some things here in the studio. But that is all I have. Stay safe, keep your alerts on, and just stay weather aware. Alright, have a good one.